beautiful YouTube people of the world. My name is Elizabeth Gunner. I am a registered dietitian and I do a lot of media nutrition news segments. So as I was searching up on YouTube how to do a news segment and how to prep for it, I came across crickets and nothing. So it got me thinking that maybe other people might need this out there. So if this is useful to you, shoot me a thumbs up if you're feeling like you want to spread some love today. Put some comments down in the comment section. Let's pop off in the comments. And I hope that you enjoy today's video. So I do this by one of maybe a couple of ways. One way is I look at the date that I'm actually doing the segment, and if it's a national holiday or if it's I don't know, some sort of thing that I want to touch on. Like my last segment, it was National Smoothie Day and it's summertime, so I thought, you know what better way to kick off summer than with some ice cold smoothies. So I created some smoothies and did a segment on that. But the last time I did a segment on reducing food waste, so that's just something that's important to me and that I thought other people might need knowledge on. So it just sort of depends on what the news channel wants, or it's also dependent on, you know, if they're giving you free reign, what you feel is pertinent to today's current day and age, or, you know, what's important to you, or also what holiday or what season it's around. I would say in the summertime, you know, it's maybe more like grilling and s'mores and all that fun stuff, versus the fall is maybe more pumpkin and soups. The spring could be some salads or whatever you want, and then the winter can be also some like winter cozy, like healthy mac and cheese or whatever you think is, you know, in time for that season. That's sort of how I go about it. And then on top of that, I just kind of think about what would be fun for the audience to learn about and the audience to see visually. So the last time I did some smoothies, and I thought a lot about the colors and, you know, what I was going to be incorporating into them, because I want it to be both visually appealing but also, you know, just nice and aesthetic, because I'm just like that. Those are kind of all of the things that run through my brain when I'm thinking, what segment should I do? And luckily at the news station that I'm doing my segments on monthly, 8 a.m. at Monday, it differs each Monday, but if you want to tune in, definitely tune in. They give me free reign, so I really get to, you know, hone in on my creativity and do whatever I want for those segments, but other news stations might ask for particular things for you to touch on. All right, so now that I know what I'm going to do my segment on, it's time to prep. So firstly, I always go to the grocery store, or in the last segment, I went to a local farmer's market. So I just make sure that, you know, I have all that I need to prep for the recipes or whatever I'm doing. Sometimes you don't do segments of food, you more do like a more chatty segment. So it really just depends. But lately I've been doing a lot of recipes. So I make sure that I go and get everything that I need from the grocery store, and I check my fridge to see if I have any of the things already, because most likely I do, since always having, you know, all the staples on hand. Then if I'm creating a new recipe, then this is a really good time for me to recipe test, maybe take some blog pictures, or maybe I'll take the blog pictures the day of the segment. It really just kind of depends, but I typically recipe test and make sure that all the recipes and all the measurements are correct, so that way when I'm making at home, you know, my viewers and people who want to remake my recipes are also receiving the same things. So I have to admit, I'm the first one to admit that I eyeball things when I cook. So a lot of times I'm just pouring things in, I'm just throwing some in, and I don't really think about like the quantity. So recipe testing and really like figuring out which quantities are sort of is important for others, because I know some people are real sticklers, and, you know, they look at the ingredients and they really go off of that. I don't know why I don't do that, but whenever I even look at other people's stuff, unless it's something totally new to me, I just kind of like wing it. But regardless, at least it's just like a rough outline on like what you need. But everybody, especially for smoothies and stuff, likes different consistencies. Some people like a little bit of more liquidy smoothies. Some people like something more thick where they can make it into like a little smoothie bowl or something. So it really just kind of depends. But all of my recipes can be changed, varied, you know, and if you guys want to put in your own twist, go for it. I would love to see new and exciting twists to all the recipes that I create. I recipe test, I prep. So this time I was working a night shift right before my AM segment, and so I woke up at like 5:30, but not because I needed to, more because I had this terrible dream that I missed my segment. But this is a total tangent. But yeah, I had this terrible dream that I missed my segment. So I woke up and I was like, this is real, but it wasn't real. Prepped and I made all my smoothies and made my display, which is my third point, on Monday. So I got up, I usually do my makeup and I get ready, and then I made my smoothies, and then I thought about my display, what I want to do for my display. So one time I did like a ton of fruits and vegetables and I made it really pretty and really like appealing. This time I kept it really simple and just had some plants, you know, a vase of flowers, and just had the smoothies on this cute little like spinny, I don't know what it's called, but spinny thing that I have. And I have a basket of just like props and towels and anything that I might need to make my display visually appealing, because that's really important, especially if you're, you know, trying to be as professional and as I don't know, visually aesthetic as possible. Obviously this isn't something that's like required, but it's just something that I like to do. So the next thing that I think of is how I'm going to set up my display and how my display is going to look on camera. What I do beforehand is I practice my segment. So I'll just, you know, throw on my camera, turn it the way it needs to be turned, and just practice what I'm going to say a little bit. Sometimes I do this a few days prior, sometimes I do it right before. It just sort of depends on like how I'm feeling that day. But yeah, so I always just like practice what I'm going to say and just some key points that I want to touch on, whether it's like a vitamin that I want to touch on, or it's a cool ingredient that I put into my recipe, or if it's a chatting, like talking point, just some facts or some data that I want to mention. So just being well prepared and knowing what I'm actually, you know, presenting and talking about. So I do that beforehand. And this last news segment, I had a crazy disaster happen, but it's okay. Right before the segment, I was practicing and I was holding up my smoothies, you know, so that the audience can see it. And I dropped the green smoothie with the mason jar and everything, so glass shattered everywhere, and I was wearing white and my clothes got all green, and then the watermelon one kind of spilled, so that one kind of got pink everywhere, and oh my gosh, it was a total fiasco. So that happened, but I just cleaned it up really quickly. I made the smoothie really quick, put it back in the mason jar, prepped everything up, and it looked fine. But when I went to go talk about that green smoothie in the segment, I kind of tripped up a little bit, and I think I was just like subconsciously or consciously thinking about, oh my gosh, I might drop it. And if you watch really closely in the segment, I'm like placing the smoothies so carefully onto the little tray because I don't want them to fall.
It has all the greens in here. It has some kiwi, some dandelion, some Swiss chard, some mixed greens, and it really has it's packed with vitamin K, nutrients, and a ton of good liver detox. So I love to start my morning with some greens just to kind of kickstart my metabolism.
I immediately thought afterwards, I was so thankful that that didn't happen on camera and that it happened like right before. And it goes to show you that anything can happen, and it probably will happen, but it's okay at the end of the day. So yeah, thumbs up to me for getting through that. Then once I practice a little bit, then it's time to get on air, and I just kind of like breathe a little bit. You know, I think of like just some Zen Thoughts. I have a daily devotional book that's right next to me that I read, and so I try to read this every morning, and it really gets my mind clear and just, you know, kind of gets me in my like Zen mode and gives me a little motivation for the day. So yeah, prior to the segment, just before I'm airing and I'm kind of hearing, you know, me about to go on, I just kind of breathe a little bit and get in the moment, and I just get really happy that I'm able to actually do this, because this is something that I really love doing. So I'm super grateful for the opportunity to, you know, be on the news. It's super cool. So any of you dietitians out there, or RDs to be, or just people in media that are trying to, you know, break into the space, I hope that this video was at least somewhat helpful for any of you that are looking to do media or that are in it already. And if you guys have any other advice, or if you have any other tips or tricks on what you do, also leave that in the comments so that other people can benefit from it. Hope that this was helpful for you guys. And if you would like to subscribe, go ahead and do that. And if you want to hit the bell notification, you'll be updated every single time a segment airs, I go live, or I post a video like this. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day or evening or afternoon, whatever time you're binge watching this. And I'm sending all my love and all the good vibes to you. Okay.